The other day I went to the Future of Ghana Forum at City Hall in London, and it was hosted by Mifri Ghana. It was a really good event, personally for me, because I got to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long while. The Ghanaian community, you know, we often joke around in London that it's even in a city this big, the Ghanaian community is very small. And that's not to say numbers are small, but rather we all know each other some way, somehow. And for that reason, you know, it was really great. Some people I haven't seen since I was a child, and it was great connecting with them. The event itself was a great opportunity to talk about where we as the diaspora see ourselves in the development of Ghana. And I was lucky enough to be able to contribute my own 2 cents about what could motivate someone born and bred here in London to go back to Ghana. Now for me, what motivated me to go to Ghana was being in Ghana. When I was young and I was on a family holiday, I saw the potential. I saw the buzz. I saw the energy in Ghana. And I knew that anyone who wants to do something with their life has to want to be part of something that has energy. You know, you want to be part of, you know, a moving train. And for that reason, I found myself knowing at 14, 15 years old that one day I will have to live in Ghana and I will have to be part of the story of growth. And I think that's the only way that you get anyone to want to do anything. The question was, how do we make or encourage young diasporans born and bred here in the UK to want to go back? But the fact of the matter is, let's not treat young diasporans like they're anything different from a normal investor. They are just like any other investor, because they just want the chance to put themselves into something and get something back from it, get their return on investment, whether that be financial or whether that be cultural or, you know, reputational, whatever it is. The whole idea is that you should be able to give into something and get something back for it. And I think, you know, the thing is that it felt at some point in time that it wasn't becoming clear to anyone how we do go about that. There's a massive difference between me and my cousin who's born 2 months before me, in that I've always looked towards Ghana, and yet we've had the same influences in our lives, but he's in no way interested. And whilst I was out there, I tried my best to get him involved. I would call him, text him, give him, you know, ideas for opportunities, because he's a really smart guy with great skills. But he just didn't see how his money and his time would be, you know, would be rewarded by being part of Ghana and the Ghana story. And I think this is the difference that we need to look at. What is the difference between someone like me and someone like my cousin? Now, for me, I see a lot of other countries when they try and get diaspora kids back. Like I said, I was in Ghana when I chose to come back. And I think also that's the only way you can make it happen. In a couple of Nigerian states, you know, governors pay for young Nigerians born and bred outside the country to come back for a week or two, be immersed in the culture, be shown the dream and the agenda and the schedule, and then be welcomed in to join. And I think that's all it takes. I think, you know, I gave the example that if I had had a Diaspora when I first turned up, I would have, my journey through Ghana whilst I was there would have been different. And I stand by that, because a network like a Diaspora is invaluable to a diasporan person who wants to go back. But on top of the informal things such as a Diaspora that will help you when you are there, we have to have a situation or a plan whereby the government is wooing diasporans just the same as they would that diasporan's foreign friend, be they from Europe or America or Asia. So I think the best way to get young diaspora Africans born and bred outside back to Ghana is to have great projects that take them back, and they don't just go back to party like it's Ayia Napa. They don't just go back for a sake of a funeral or a wedding with family, but they get to go back on purposeful projects, not to give back in the sense of volunteerism, which is very popular in the British sense of a gap year, but to be shown the vision and offered the opportunity to see where they fit into that vision, because they do fit just the same, if not more, than a foreign investor would. And I've seen from a lot of people's careers, even if that person is not in the position to give financially or give in terms of their expertise and invest their time into that project, when they are working for a big organization and they're pushing the agenda in terms of Africa, or the agenda in terms of Ghana, or Nigeria, or whatever country they're from, they can have a bigger effect on the country and on the project they wanted to be involved in, or the vision they wanted to take part in. They can have a bigger effect on that vision from the small position that they are in their foreign company somewhere based in London, than if you had just said, come over and do this now. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned whilst having lived there and come back, is that whilst I was out there, I noticed there were some of my colleagues, some of my friends, my peers who are still in London, who are interested in being in Ghana, but they need to straddle, because London is still home for a lot of people. It's where we were born, it's where we were bred, and it's where our characteristics were nurtured and moulded. And you can't just up sticks and leave and avoid that, regardless of your ethnic ties to somewhere else. If you want to get diaspora people back into Ghana, to live there, to invest there, to straddle their life across two countries, one of them being Ghana, you have to bring them in and woo them with a vision sponsored by the government, to show them where they fit in and to give them something to get excited about. And I promise you, when you give them everything you're willing to give a top CEO when they come to Ghana for only one day, if you give that to those people over across 2 immense weeks of experience, I would say, and I'm going to bet 50% of them will come back for a fact, hands down. It's something that if anyone wants to join me, I would love to put together, because that is the only way I see us collecting the resources that have scattered across the world and bringing it into Ghana to really develop the country. That's how I did it personally. That's how I connected with the country, and I think I don't see any other way for it, really, because of the way we're brought up to think. So obviously, if you are thinking of moving to Ghana and you're not sure because you've heard about the bad transport, you've heard about the bad light, you've heard about the bad water situation, the bad health situation, whatever it is, I am here. I'm based here in London, and I want to be an open resource for anyone who's thinking about going, because at the very least, if you are thinking about going, you should probably go. And experience it for yourself and see the world and enjoy life in a different place. I've also linked 2 videos that I gave with The Only Way is Ghana, Larissa, when I was leaving Ghana. It is honest. I have not held back. So I'm here as a resource, happy to help anyone who's thinking about it. All my details are below the video. Let's see if we can build something. If anyone wants to join me here to get even more people shipped out there, it'd be great, because it's not even about being sent anymore.